I'd like to welcome everybody tonight to Cheatham County Commission Workshop, June 23rd, 2025. I haven't had anybody fill out a sheet to speak tonight. We got Ms. Lovell wants to speak.
Yes, I was just going to update everybody. We had our hand training today through the coalition, and we had 20 elected officials and county employees come to the meeting. It was great. I'm going to try to set up one for the school board and any employees who didn't make it today. And then we're going to work on some for the communities, hopefully working with the fire departments and in their community.
Anybody have any questions? All right, Mr. Greer won't be here tonight. He'll be here next Monday if you have any questions for him, but you have the jail update. I think the mayor sent it out in the packet. Any update on the maintenance building, Mr. Mayor?
You'll have in your packet the contractor, Josh, the architect that has gone to bid. We've accepted one of the bids and waiting on the contract to come back from the one who won the bid.
All right, moving along. Building department.
I have 3 rezone requests on the public notice. One has withdrawn. Number 1, American Engineers Incorporated requesting a zone change from C1 to I1 for map 65 parcel 98 and map 65 parcel 9802. Property is located at 346 Angler Lane in the 5th voting district and is in a special flood hazard area. They've withdrawn. Item 2, Christian Dalton requesting a zone change from E1 to R1 for map 93 parcel 10. Property is located at 4531 Sears Road in the 5th voting district and is not in a special flood hazard area. Item 3, Bobby Hackett requesting a zone change from C3 to agriculture for map 48 parcel 13.05. Property is located on Chapmansboro Road in the 4th voting district and is in a special flood hazard area.
All right, is there anybody here who wishes to speak on either one of these items? Yes, ma'am. But could you come to the microphone down here, please?
In my emails to each of you, I outlined reasons for my
Anybody have any questions?
Is there any controversy surrounding this zone change?
What was the?
There are some neighbors who came to the zoning meeting and didn't want it done, but after researching, I mean, there's really no reason not to vote for it. They don't want it because of what could happen, but it makes sense in this setting for this to be rezoned. And it's in the growth plan.
Any other questions? Anyone else?
I'm in favor of it.
All right, we're moving on. It'll be on Monday night's agenda.
Right. Item 3, Bobby Hackett requesting a zone change from C3 to agriculture for map 48, parcel 13.05. Property is located on Chapmansboro Road in the 4th voting district and is in a special flood hazard area.
Is there anyone here who wishes to speak on this item?
Mr. Hackett reached out to me earlier, last week in reference to this property. Initially, there was, plans to put a store there, like a paint shop or something of that nature. His daughter is actually going to, build a house on that lot. And, which for it to be zoned agriculture, so she could have some preferred friends.
How many acres is that lot?
It's over 5.
I'd just like it on the record that I, even though number 1 was pulled from the agenda, I am still opposed to it entirely.
Anybody else on this item? You have anything else?
That's it, unless anybody has questions.
All right, these two items will be on Monday night's agenda. Moving along, budget.
Agenda, item 1 was budget amendments for Concord School, transportation in the amount of $100,006.29. Was transferring some summer learning camp grant funds to the transportation cost of the program. The next item was for instructions, support services, and operation of non-instructional services in the amount of $551,661.68. This is also transferring the summer learning camp grant funds to fund the operation cost of the program. The Board of Education vote was 4 yes, 0 no, and 2 absent. The budget voted unanimously, 5 yes, 0 no, 0 absent on that one. There will also be some amendments that I will bring to the meeting next week. They're the year
Anybody have any questions? No questions on the budget.
Thank you, Chairman. We have 11 things from the mayor's office for your consideration this month. First item is vote for the mayor's signature on amended contract between Cheatham County and Williamson County for use of their juvenile detention center. Second item is vote for the mayor's signature on food services agreement between Cheatham County and Trinity Services Group. This is food service for the jail. Vote for the mayor's signature on the virtual academy solution agreement with addendum. The next item is rescind. We are asking to rescind the Harpeth River fire contract and replace it with an updated amended fire contract. The changes would be what we approved last month for Pleasant View for their donation request. That would be copied basically for the Harpeth Ridge Fire Department and would take the place of the one we approved. They do some limited mail-out donation requests. I checked with Edwin. I've never had anyone from that area question the donations or that with the confusion of the fire tax. They do state on there it is a pure donation and it is that the fire tax is covering them from a county standpoint. They are in agreement that they would give us 14-day notice of any donation requests they're going to send out, just like Pleasant View agreed to. So we're asking for that switch in that contract. Next item for consideration will be the vote for the mayor's signature on First Amendment agreement to the waste transportation agreement between Cheatham County and Mr. Bolts Incorporated and Illinois Corporation MBI. This is our hauler of our trash from our transfer station to the Bi-County facility down in Montgomery County. It is a switch where they would save us $1 per ton, and then where we had an agreement that if diesel was to go above $6 a gallon, that would come down to $4.50 a gallon. If they go above that, then we would be paying some extra. And so far, I hadn't even touched that since we've been in this agreement. So that would just amend the current agreement for the next 2 years, I believe, is left on that agreement. Next item, consideration of the mayor's signature on the BIS digital for audio, video in the new courtrooms with the new criminal justice center. Next item, consideration of the mayor's signature on a lease agreement between Cheatham County and Kingston Springs Church of Christ. Talked a little bit about this last week in the budget presentation. This is the parking lot that's up the side and around the back of the library at Kingston Springs that we've had use of that building and the library there since the late 80s. They've never charged us for use of that parking lot, and now it needs some maintenance on it. And so that would run a lease agreement that way would lease it to us for the next 10 years, but it would help cover some of their costs of what they're now facing to get that parking lot back in good shape. Next item is vote for the mayor's signature on a lease between Cheatham County School System and Cheatham County. This is for the library board. They are exploring and looking at the possibility of putting a new library behind Harpeth Middle School. They worked out the agreement with Cheatham Board of Education. This is that agreement, but it's got to be with the county. So that is in the packet for consideration this month. Next item is vote for the mayor's signature on the contract between Cheatham County and Rufus Johnson Associates for Sycamore renovations. This is the VSO expansion, as well as some changes over in the other offices that we've got set up. And that's a contract with Rudy and his firm. Next item is vote for the mayor's signature on the contract between Cheatham County and Joshua Wright for the Cheatham County Maintenance Building. And the work to follow up on that. And then late today, hopefully you all got an email was sent out from the Sheriff's Office. The Axon Enterprises contract agreement with the Cheatham County Sheriff's Office. This is for cameras and all. This is to add the latest new squad cars that they have to add cameras to. It's just adding those to the original agreement. That's what I have for you. We'd be glad to answer any questions or any other questions you may have on the mayor's office.
Anybody have any questions? All right, moving along. Mr. Bly?
I don't have anything unless somebody has questions.
Anybody have any questions for our attorney? All right. Let's see. Cindy Perry, got anything for us? Ms. Henderson?
No, sir.
All right. Mr. Binkley, road superintendent? How about a sheriff? You gave us a report on all this that happened down there at the courthouse a few days ago?
Well, it wasn't much.
Wasn't much. Oh, anybody have any questions for the sheriff? School board, Dr. Beck.
This is the last week of summer school, but I want to talk to y'all about the 4th of July, people celebration. Skip and I are the grand marshals, and we are so honored to be there. I got my costume today, I'm dressing up as a Statue of Liberty, and so, really, Skip and I are also calling bingo, they have to be 55 years old to get to participate, but at 1 o'clock, calling bingo, y'all are all invited to come play bingo. And then, I have several of my own children are really wonderful musicians, and so they, two of mine are headlining the music, the band, one of the bands playing that night, and they're playing at 4:30. They're bringing, one of my sons is a studio musician out of Russell Shores, Alabama. He's really good, and he's bringing some of the Russell Shores musicians to play. And so, 4th of July, I told him, he said, will anybody do that? I said, I'm gonna do my best to rally some people to come, so come at 4:30 and sing, they're really good. I'll be so happy to show them. Anyway, thank you for that honor, and, I'm gonna finish strong. It's gonna be a really strong week out here because of the Board of Education, so anyway, we're gonna make money now. Any questions?
Got lots of candy for the parade.
I know, we ran it last year and we ran out, so I know what to do.
Anybody have any questions? You gonna be here next Monday?
Yes.
All right.
It's my last day. Yeah. Don't call in sick.
All right, UT Extension.
I'll give a full update next week, but I just want to announce that our new Family Consumer Science Extension agent started today. She moved to Cheatham County this week from North Dakota to work in our office. So stop by, see her. Her name's April. I'll try to bring her next week too. She's going to be wonderful.
Right. Any questions? Veterans, CCD, Chamber. All right, Beer Board,
We didn't meet, we will meet in July.
Emergency Services, Capital Improvements.
Yes, sir, one item for, next week. Push forward, downstairs conference room, the health department, had some water damage to the flooring, where the carpet was completely destroyed and needed to be ripped out. The pricing range for replacing the vinyl floor and just going back with the polished concrete is around the same. So Capital Improvements is asking for $3,860 to redo the floor in there, polish concrete, so that if it floods again, all they have to do is just mop it up, to not have to go through another floor, remodel. If I get that pushed forward next week, I'll vote.
All right, we'll have it on the agenda Monday night. Anything else?
That's it.
County rules? Nothing? Road and Bridge?
Did not meet.
Did I miss anybody? Don't got anything? Huh? Oh. No, I didn't ask him if he had it.
Could we let Mr. Wade give an update?
You want to talk to us, Mr. Wade?
He can't hear, but he can speak.
She does most of my speaking.
I think he has an update for us about the TVA.
It is about me. Excuse me for bringing this.
All right.
That day, the heat, I guess. I was asked to update this body on what I know about what has been going on relative to TVA and its affiliates. In this case, it would be Tennessee Gas Pipeline. They have sued a number of the folks in this county survey access. That is one of the preliminary steps to enable their ultimate tyranny. And in that suit, for, to my knowledge, all but finally it came up, my wife and me, they sued everybody to do what I euphemistically call stomping around. It's not really invasive. They dig a hole perhaps 2 feet deep at intervals, looking for artifacts, whether they're arrowheads or a dinosaur bone, something that could impede their ability to smoothly run the pipeline without having a lot of other folks. So here is, finally came up. So now I don't have to extemporize if I get the glasses on. They term this survey access a survey. When I think of a survey, I think of a guy with a transit and a plumb bob, but it's far more extensive than that. They check the deed, they check property rights, they check easements, and they do what I just described, which is to dig a roughly 22-inch deep hole, 2 feet wide, and go down and see if they find an arrowhead, that sort of thing. So, the people who are being sued, and my wife and I, some of these folks, held 2 meetings to interview attorneys. And there were 2 attorneys interviewed, one at each meeting. Both attorneys were crystal clear that in terms of denying Tennessee Gas Pipeline or TDA survey access, you're toast. Both by statute and case law, they have that right. I think that's very wrong, but they have the legal right to do that. The folks who engaged the services of attorneys did so for a good reason, even though they would not win that fight to deny survey access. The attorneys were engaged for the purpose of negotiating access agreement. What time can they come? They can't show up at midnight with 20 minutes of notice. If they damage your fence, your crops, they have to restore them. So the negotiated terms of their access was why these attorneys, for everyone else except my wife and me, were engaged. In our case, part of their suit demanded their right to bore a test hole 50 feet deep. Our only source of water is spring water, coming from a wonderful aquifer. Spring that never run dry, even in great drought, and it's very pure water. We said, that don't like that. So we told our attorney, fight, but fight on that basis. We know we won't win for them coming and doing their cultural and architectural survey. We know that. But if they're going to come in here and do something that's going to keep us from having uncontaminated water, you can't live somewhere without water. Yeah, we're going to fight that. Interesting to note that within a couple of weeks, they sent our attorney an email that said, by the way, we don't want to drill 50 feet. We're going to drill 240 feet. Why 240 feet? So they can get data from the ground structure that they would use in boring under Spring Creek to get to the site. 200 and pretty close to a football field is what they. Where am I? So he said, "Oh, it ain't cheap, but you gotta have water." So we told him to fight, and he did. And we won. In return for our permitting them to come and, as I call it, stomp around, which is really what it amounts to, they said, "Okay, if you'll let us stomp around, we won't drill." 5 attorneys, the 2 that we have hired and 3 that are friends of ours, said they did what? They don't back up an inch. They don't give up anything. What do you think caused that? I said, I think there are 2 things. They've had a really tough couple of weeks, PR-wise, and I'll get into that in a minute, part of the update. But the second one was our attorney made a document production demand. Every document, electronic, written, notes of verbal conversations, going all the way back to the purchase of the site. Don't know which had the greater weight, but those 2 things occurred pretty much simultaneously. As a matter of fact, when that document was filed with the court as our response to their suit, 2 days later they called and said, "Well, we won't drill." So, you think about it, a 240-foot borehole straight down through the aquifer. That win was a win for us, for Spring Creek, Sycamore Creek, and maybe the community at large. Because when you go that deep, I'm told by people who are in that business here, particularly, it's rare not to hit sulfur solids. So now you penetrated the aquifer, potentially, and they say probably, hitting sulfur solids pouring into Spring Creek, which then would pour into Sycamore Creek. So who knows what damage to the water supply for, certainly for us, but for everybody else could occur. So it's a big win. Said that there were 2 reasons, told you about the attorney, and I would say this community owes a huge debt of gratitude to John Rich. He is I don't know these things, but you all do anyway. He's a country music celebrity, has got deep ties. His father, his brother, live here, run farms here. And he has, well, I want to make sure I say this. It's my belief that the Lord has used him in this fight, because he has taken up this fight as a personal crusade. And he's done it with vigor. In a very few weeks, he has an intense following on social media, which I never looked at either till we, and now I do, like, compulsively to see. In his various social media platforms, and there is on X, which used to be Twitter, I think, and other platforms, he's got 3 million views about what's going on here, about the tyranny of TVA to this community. And we owe him a huge debt. That's not where it starts and stops either. He is well acquainted, it's no secret, that he has a 30-year friendship with Donald Trump. And he has vowed to take this to the president if necessary. And he hopes it will be. We kind of told the president there's a couple other things going on right now. but he has a carefully worked out strategy and has announced to TVA that this is a fight to the finish, and possibly their finish. In just the last several weeks, he's accomplished multiple interviews, phone calls, some to folks high up in the administration, and as he puts it, he is just getting started. This guy's enjoying this. He sees wrong. He sees what the TVA has done to a community that clearly the TVA thought was going to be the low-hanging fruit, the easy pickings, and has taken that banner up. And he's doing a good job with it, because now he has contacted national news networks, and they are scheduling visits. In addition to that, Dennis Ferrier and Ryan Thornburg with Local Fox 17 are doing a whole dedicated series to this, and I use the word again because that's what it is, TVA tyranny. That should go 5 or 6 more. I'm told, I think this coming Monday will be the next follow-up to what he did 2 Mondays ago. He's in Japan, so, or was, and he's back now, so that's why there was a week gap. The takeaway, a month ago, we were praying diligently and hoping. I don't know how far we were getting. A whole lot of people have worked in very, very, very hard. This month, I actually think we may win this thing. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Wayne, for all you've been doing and getting the word out, and getting Mr. Rich involved. Thank you for everything.
Oh, here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody have any questions? I believe you covered everything.
So, my printer ran out of ink, so I had to print.
We appreciate it. Thank you. Any other business?
Chairman, a reminder to the commission that next Monday night at 5 o'clock will be the public hearing on the budget, and the regular session at 6 o'clock. So 5 o'clock, so we'll kick things off.
So it's been publicized, so make sure you're here at 5 o'clock in case we have some people want to come speak to us about the budget. Any announcements? Motion to adjourn? Second? All in favor say aye.